Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwame Sha'Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Chachakadash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Achanan Nawah. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And so the UK has banned children younger than 16 from using social media apps, including TikTok and YouTube, right? So this PBS News Hour, they're not really gonna throw this on the American stage like that. They don't want them getting too many ideas over here because America is just Babylon the Great. They don't give a fuck about these children and these people right here too. They don't care over there neither. But the reason I'm bringing this out is this guy, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, right? He was the one that first came out with the digital ID thing, right? Matter of fact, let's do something real quick. Where he was talking about you're not going to be able to work. Matter of fact, I can just put it in. You're not going to be able to work, or pretty much they trying to make it seem as if we want to be helpful to our citizens and keep these immigrants out, and we're going to know who's working, and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those people over in London, in the area, that they were pissed about it because of their privacy rights. Let me see, they care, and they trying to throw his ass out of there right now. Anyway, they on his ass right now. Say you wouldn't be able to work without the digital ID, right? So this the same guy, but he came with this law, which we know that is leading up to the market of Beauty and the Beast. This is what it's leading up to. So it says, yes, Prime Minister Keir Starmer confirmed that the UK government plans to make a new, free of charge. See, they come with that, the scripture says they go humbling themselves and go crouching, yet take good heed of them. And the scripture says to never trust thine enemy. Yeah, we're going to make it free of charge, digital ID mandatory for the right to vote, to work. So it's going to be mandatory that you have a digital ID to work, man. Stating that if you don't have a digital ID, you won't be able to work in the UK. So that's going to keep people from what? Eating. The scripture says, for man doesn't work, neither shall he eat. And then from there, what do you think they're going to do for the next step? It's like they're just going to stop with the digital ID. What's so wrong with your regular ID? You trying to tell me your government is not better at making an official ID than some bootlegger? You should be able to know shit. You know all about the bootlegs. You using special paper for the money. You using special paper for, even a fucking hand note that you sending somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you can't use these IDs that you're already using. But they want to take it a step further. They want you to have that shit on your phone. And then from there, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take it to the next step. Okay, well, you lose your phone. People are I don't know, stealing your information. You got all these different things going on. They got all this spyware. You can buy this and buy that. And, now all of a sudden it's just, oh, we're going to get rid of all that. We're going to scrap all of that. Now you just come on down and see us, and we're going to put this microchip in you. You see what China just supposedly surpassed Elon Musk. So you don't think that these Americans or Elon Musk is going to say to Congress, hey, we have to step our game up because China is winning this digital war on us? And next thing you know, they're out here. I mean, because this microchip is coming soon, man. They own that. So now let's put in the king. Remember that you had the king not long ago here. Let's just put in, did King Charles say the same thing? They had his ass all in the garb. He had on his crown. He had on it just looking stupid as hell. Let me see. King Charles say the same thing. Maybe not necessarily the same thing verbatim, Says, no, King Charles did not say the same thing. While he did officially, see, that's what we want right here. While he did officially address the digital ID scheme, his statement announced a major change in policy. The government is pulling back and making the system voluntary rather than mandatory. That's because they got a little bit of pushback. But it's going to come to a point where it's going to be mandatory. You know how Esau, he starts off. That's like with the COV19. They started off, you know what I'm saying? They was offering you Krispy Kreme donuts. They was offering, you know, people combos and shit from McDonald's. You know, they was offering marijuana and yeah, come in, you know, get your free joint or your free marijuana joint. You know what I'm saying? And you know, all you have to do is just show us that you've gone and rolled your sleeve up and you've taken your shot. Remember, they was offering all that. They was offering NBA tickets and tickets to theme parks and. You know, and that was Esau trying to do the slick shit. Let me get that scripture I quoted. Esau tried to be slick. And then what did they do after people wasn't going for it? There wasn't enough people grasping at it. They like, oh, well, you can't go to work. It's really no different than what this guy's saying. Well, you can't go to work if you don't accept this digital ID. Because what's with the digital ID? You're just thinking it's just, you know, just, well, I'm going to take a new picture. I gotta go take a new photo, you know, and what do you think comes with that? A lot of information comes with that. A lot of shit that you rather keep to yourself. It's not enough that they have a picture of you. They got your address. They know where you live. They got the zip code. You know, they know the color of your eyes. They know your height. They know your weight. You know, it's all on your driver's license. But they want to take it a step further. Now you need digital ID to get into the airports here in the Americas. You know, they still haven't made it mandatory, but they did throw an extra charge on you not having it. I think it went up to like $50. It could have went up more. So you walking into the airport and you don't now have the digital ID, you have to pay an extra $50 as if they're going out of their way so much to for you to walk through that damn scanner. Radiation hitting your ass, you know. So let me get this one scripture though. Because they're going to try and make it seem, you know, as if this is a great thing for everyone. It's going to help with your benefits. We're going to, you know, your medical information will be on there in case you need an ambulance. We know your medicines that you take. We know your emergency contact. You know, that's bullshit, man. I can keep a piece of paper in my fucking wallet with that on there. You know, you got people, you know, you can get something laminated. Which some people do that, you know what I'm saying that, okay, this person may be allergic to this or that, just in case something happens. They live here, you can contact this person. If you can't reach that person, you can reach his auntie over here, and in case something happens. You can, that's something simply laminated. You can have simple stuff like that, just, I'm allergic to this. There's people that do stuff like that, they used to anyway. But this is Ecclesiastes 12:10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away, which means he's eventually going to show you those true colors. He's going to show you really the reason as to why they brought forth that digital ID, because they're going to take it to the next step, and that next step is the RFID chip under your skin, man. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, oh yeah, it's going to be free of charge. It's going to benefit everyone. It's going to be a lot more convenient. It's going to make everything move smoother and faster. You know, you won't be caught up in crowds and you can just walk straight through. And see, that's what they was doing with these airports. They got this line over here for you if you don't have the digital ID, trying to make it seem as if it's taking them so long. Then they got this line over here where you got the digital ID. You just beep it. You know, you just walking straight on through. See the convenience? Anyway. Let me get this Revelation 13:16 real quick, and I'll jump into a little bit of the article. Because right here in the Americas, I remember Ock was telling me about it not too long ago, maybe a few weeks back. And he was telling me about how YouTube was trying to get some ID information and stuff out of him. They actually done that. They sent me that shit. And I didn't, you know, I was like, fuck that. You know, somehow I think I had another channel, though, that I was using, but I'm like, man, fuck that. I ain't giving y'all all this information to just be on fucking YouTube, man. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I don't mind it. You know, I would have, because, you know, we're going to just do the work until the Lord shuts things down anyway. You know, Amos 8:11. where there's going to be a famine of this word. So we're going to work until that point anyway. But once it comes down to, it's going to come a point where the Lord is going to shut us down from being on this internet anyway. And that's the only reason why I have a phone. I haven't gotten one phone call or one text today as of 3:40 p.m. right now. Not one. I didn't get one yesterday. I didn't get a text or message or phone call yesterday. The day before, I think I got one text. So this is not about, you know what I'm saying, me being on the phone. And no, I pay the phone bill so I can have access to these social media sites to actually promote this gospel, man. And that's all it's about. So once they get done, and they do what they do with this shit, I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck that. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. See, now some people might say, well, you're kind of reaching with that ban on a 16. But see, the 16-year-olds and under, they're trying to make it seem as if it's safe for the children, but we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So guess what they're going to do to make sure that you are actually over 16? You're going to have to present, who knows, maybe your fucking credit card information, your driver's license, maybe a show that you have a bill coming through your home, or a fucking birth certificate, or whatever the case may be. That's going to be to who you think they're going to be. They're going to be surveilling everybody that's that age above. Because now they got your information, because they're going to, why you think they're building all these data centers? They're collecting all the information that they possibly can off everybody. Everybody. They gathering it all up. Because that data is worth money now. And then they need that information to actually, program AI, so to speak, and do all these different things. But, those data centers, man, they bulking all them. They building them bitches big as hell. Them shits is the size of cities, man, where they can hold all this information. So now they can pinpoint, okay, this is such and such over here, such and such over there. He's doing this, he posted this, he posting that. And then, in certain countries, hey, you posting certain shit on Facebook, police pulling up. You disagreeing with a political party, you know what I'm saying? And this is what's happening, man. But it's all coming down to the microchipping everybody. They're not building those data centers for nothing, man. So now let's go to chapter 14 real quick, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, which is going to be a terrible time, man. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you're not going to want no parts of what's coming with this, whoever takes this microchip, man. And Esau, the so-called white man, again, he's going to play with your food. He's going to play with your water. He plays with your way of life, man. That's what he done with COVID-19. Oh, you don't want to come and take this COVID-19 shot? Oh, you can't go to work. They done that. A lot of people got fired. Some of them got their jobs back. Some of them was sued and was able to get some money back. A lot of people just quit. You know what I'm saying? But overall, a lot of people fell for that. They actually was like, well, fuck it. I got to work. I need my job. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to eat? Right? And this is how, that Isaiah 33:6, it says that this wisdom and this knowledge shall be the stability of our times. I think that's Isaiah 65:13 through like maybe 15, where the Lord said, my servant shall eat, my servant shall drink. So we have to have that complete, full trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua that he's going to take care of us in our needs, man. Now, verse 16, it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So it's going to be a cancerous ulcer type sore, or it's not going to be a good look, man. Here you go, this man, he's using all this water to keep down the temperature in them hot ass data centers, and then you go and put some of his technology under your skin, and you think that shit is going to be all right? Nah, man. But anyway, Again, you know what I'm saying? See, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. This right here is what this is going to lead up to. They're gathering this information. They don't give a fuck about these kids, man. Okay, but it says, you see. So it says media, social media app, Snapchat, never had it. TikTok, I've seen it before, been on it. Yeah, I don't even think, I think the app is in my phone. I don't use shit like that anyway. I just go on to YouTube and drop these lessons, man. It says the ban, which is expected to take effect early next year, makes the UK part of a growing global movement to tighten online safety for children. See, you got it in Australia, Canada, Brazil, and Indonesia have introduced legislation or announced age-based restrictions or requirements for children access to social media. You got France, Spain, Denmark, Thailand, and South Korea are among others studying or developing similar approaches. Every parent can see it with their own eyes. Social media is making children unhappy, said Stammer, who has 2 teenage children. I've heard firsthand from the families crying out for change, and we would do right by them. Yeah, sure. The plan was met with mixed reactions, with some praising Stammer for taking actions and others questioning the effectiveness of a blanket ban. YouTube and Meta, the parent companies of Facebook and Instagram, warned Monday that the blanket social media restrictions could push kids into unregulated spaces, as if their spaces are so much more safe. YouTube is not safe, nigga. Meta is not safe. They got all kinds of shit on there, man. Blanket bans push kids out of such curated, supervised, beneficial experiences and towards anonymous, less safe services. Well, shit, it will be more beneficial for them to take their asses outside and play. Go get some air. You know? Sitting around and straining your damn eyes on social media all day. Says a YouTube says Meta said a ban could drive teens to online alternatives without any parental control. So that's them, you know, trying to save face and keep those millions and millions, because you know that's advertisement. You know that they missing money with, you know, and that's their pretty much their market base. These youngsters around this age, young adults rather, because they really are young adults. They're not kids, but you know, in Esau's world, you a damn kid until you damn near 30 here. Anyway, Starmer acknowledged the challenges and said some teens would try to find their way around the ban, but said, I do believe we can enforce it. Well, yeah, a lot of them going to find a way around it. It's always a way around it. He added, teenagers drink before they should, but we do not then say, in which case let us abandon any attempt to stop them from buying alcohol. The Prime Minister, who is under pressure to step down from members of his own party over what they see as poor leadership and could face a challenge from within his Labour Party in the coming days or weeks, said he is not prepared to compromise the safety of happiness in children. Yeah, right, all that shit. Starmer says the UK will go further than Australia. The UK plans to follow the same model for the social media ban as Australia, which last year became the first country to bar under 16s from holding social media accounts. Platforms that fail to take responsible steps to exclude children younger than 16 could be punished with multi-million-dollar fines. So you know they don't want to lose no money. But then they make up all this money with the advertisement anyway. The UK said its ban will apply to platforms including Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X, but not the YouTube Kids or messaging services. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so it says, messaging services like WhatsApp and Signal. Starmer stressed that enforcement actions will target tech companies, not children. He said the move was a big moment for our country and added that he will go further than Australia's measures. The government will also act to prevent strangers from contacting children or gaming and live streaming platforms. AI chatbots designated to simulate romantic or sexual relationships with users will be restricted to over 18s only. See that? So you really not doing nothing, man. You holding off for a hot sec for them to what, you know, whatever, man. This shit is not going to stop nothing. But, you know, I just wanted to point out the fact that, you know, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, and how, you know, really this is going to be, it's really somewhat of a scheme to gather information from the adults, man, that are already on these platforms. That's pretty much about what it is, man. So I'm gonna end out there. Pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah in a Bible ball.